Yeah, you can hustle and you can work 100 hours a week, but you then are potentially feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. And my whole thing, it's kind of like a diet. The right way is to do it in a way that you can sustain it for the rest of your life. The wrong way is to do it in a way that it's not sustainable and then you just go up and down. The thing I'm trying to design is a life I never have to retire from. What are the activities that give you energy? What are the activities that make you feel recharged, rejuvenated, that it is sustainable? Because the most powerful force in the world is compound interest.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's looking to start their own business?
There's a lot. Number one is go get paid. So there's kind of like the 0-day start. The 0-day start means go find 3 people that have the problem, do the thing that you can do for them for free to get the experience to then get referrals, right? Like most people are like, oh, how do I get people to pay me? You don't. You start off and you say, hey, I'm a wedding photographer, I'm a video editor, I'm a lawn care person, I want to mow your lawn for free. It's almost like, how do you deliver a service as good as the paid version of other people? Because I think sometimes people discount their value and they really shouldn't. When I started a business, I was all like, I'm going to win because I'm going to be cheaper, right? My brother started a home building company and he wanted to build the cheapest houses. He was like, well, if I have the cheapest houses, then everybody's going to buy my house because it's the least expensive. Turns out that's not true, because people are willing to pay a premium for a great product. And if you're trying to build the cheapest house, then you're always going to be in a race for the bottom versus a race for the top. Figure out, how can I deliver above average value for a fair price? How do you deliver high quality service but for a premium price? Because then you have the margin. See, most people don't value themselves enough when they're starting off. So they're in business, but they're not making any money. When they start looking at it, I mean, it's like my kids are like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell these rocks for $1. It's like, how much did you pay for all the supplies to paint on the rocks and put their little jewels and stuff on it? And they're like, I don't know. It's like, when you start putting your time together and the materials and stuff, like, you might have to sell that rock for $5. Like, you're just not going to make any money otherwise. So that's the best advice I would say to somebody starting off, because they got to get early traction with the customer. So do stuff for free, but not for everybody. Strategically, for the first few, knock their socks off. One of my buddy Matt always says, my socks are still on, which means my socks have not been knocked off. So knock their socks off and then use that momentum to then get some paid clients and try to get, into the premium pricing world so that you have the margins to be able to build a business.
So I guess a lot of your content recently, obviously, is buy back your time. So someone who has already gotten started off in business, someone who's gotten their feet off the ground, I guess what would be the most important step for them to start buying back some of their time and not putting all of their time and effort into their work?
Yeah, and it's funny because I think buying back your time is an age-dependent thing. When you're 20, you just have this perception that you have all the time in the world and you're willing to show up and grind it out and work 100-hour weeks. I mean, so many of my 20-year-old, followers online, they're like, they don't have a problem. Weekends, nights, like, they're just like, I'm willing to show up and do the work, which is great. The challenge is that you undervalue what you could be doing with that hour, right? So for me, it's really important to understand your buyback rate. For the amount of hours you're working, what's your income production? Because you can feel like you're making forward movement, but you're actually going sideways. Oh, this is good, the business is going, and you're literally just spinning your wheels in the sand because you're not measuring the right things. Once you measure the right thing, then you can't deny if the activity you're currently doing on a day-to-day basis is moving that forward. So the thing that you should be measuring is literally revenue, and I would say even better than that, gross revenue, which is, after you have the cost of delivering the service, how much are you producing after the fact, your gross profit. Once you understand that, then you should be buying back your time, even if you have all the time in the world, to fix the energy flow of your life. See, a lot of people don't understand is that, yeah, you can hustle and you can do a lot of stuff and you can work 100 hours a week, but you then are potentially feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. And my whole thing, it's kind of like a diet. People come to you and they like, oh wow, you lost all this weight. How'd you do it? Well, the right way is to do it in a way that you can sustain it for the rest of your life. The wrong way is to do it in a way that it's not sustainable and then you just go up and down. It's like, 6 weeks before the vacation, you lose 20 pounds and then you put it on during the vacation and you're just like dieting up and down. To me, it's the same thing about buying back my time. The thing I'm trying to design is a life I never have to retire from. So I'm buying back my time, not so I can always work more, although that's incredibly important and you should upgrade your skills and your beliefs and your character traits, but also look at like, what are the activities that give you energy? What are the activities that make you feel recharged, rejuvenated, that it is sustainable? Because the most powerful force in the world, is compound interest, is consistency and momentum. It's waking up every day and being consistent towards an outcome. So yeah, when you're younger, you can grind it out, but the problem is it's not sustainable. And it's not sustainable for being in a relationship. So at some point in your late 20s, early 30s, you're gonna wake up and go like, wow, I'm not really a great person to be in a relationship with, right? And you're gonna look in a mirror and go, geez, I put on 40 pounds. Like, this isn't what success looks like. Like, how am I supposed to show up? And so for me, it's always about buying back your time, even at the lowest levels, so that you can reinvest it in creating a calendar, and that's the key, the perfect calendar, that is sustainable and produces outcomes that you never have to retire from. My life is literally just doing the things that I love to do as much as I humanly possibly can do in a way that gives me energy.
And do you have like a specific calendar that you found kind of works best for you, or for an entrepreneur or someone who, you know, is as busy as you are?
Yeah, I think everybody should design it based on their energy flows. So mine now is, I kind of break my life up into like 3 parts of my day: my morning, my afternoon, and my night. And they're kind of like 3 very unique days. And each one can have different components of creating work, but that is sustainable. So like, maybe like my nights are collaborating with friends or going and doing physical activities, but all my friends are entrepreneurs. So I'll bring problems to those activities, to the mountain biking, to the wake surfing, to the snowboarding, to the cat skiing, to whatever, so that I can work through it. And then my mornings are where I create early in the morning. It's like I wake up and I want to, I have a list of things I want to produce. I want to work on ideation, where it's like my brain is just still connected to flow and to energy and to the universal consciousness. It's just like, how can I create something from nothing? And then usually my afternoons, I like to use that for like conversation with team members, clients, like trying to inspire them to like consider different options. And I mean, a lot of times I just joke with people, I'm a professional point of view seller. I'm like a POV drug dealer. It's like, what do you want? What kind of point of view do you want? Do you want some of this? You want some of that? Like, that's literally what I do all day long. I have a point of view that's completely different from the one you have. And I'm hopefully going to try to convince you to adopt it, because at the end of the day, man, life doesn't get easier. You get better. And the only way you get better is by changing your set of beliefs. So people that don't believe that the rhythm of their day and the energy and how they flow through their day is important will never find that flow, right? They'll never consider a concept like batching or block time or others that are transformational. Like, once you do it, I don't know, you just can't undo it. It's like, well, that just makes a lot of sense. If I'm gonna sit down and do podcast interviews, I'm gonna do 4 or 5 in a row. Why would I allow somebody to like start my day super early doing a podcast interview when I should have been creating my next big thing, right? So it's like, even that concept is really important. But the big idea for me when designing the perfect week is you start with the ingredients. You make a list of like, what are the elements of a perfect week? In a week, what would I like to do with my time? Well, I want to go on date night with my wife. I want to spend time with my kids. I want to go to the gym every day. I want to create one meaningful thing, new in my business, an SOP, a strategy document, whatever it is. Just like, what are these elements, if you accomplish them, that would feel like, oh, that was a successful week? And then once I've got those things, then I put them into the calendar, kind of like the big rocks and small rocks, pebbles and sand. It's, let me get the big rocks into the calendar first and design it and look at it and step back, go like, if I executed that day, how would my energy feel, right? So like, some people, they like to work first thing in the morning. Some people at lunch, so they have a second kind of wind in the afternoon. But once you take all those ingredients, and that becomes the basis of your perfect week, and then the sequencing is like the recipe. How do I put these ingredients into my week? And you may not get it perfect at first, but you start playing with it. But there is no other way to create a life that you never have to retire from than to design your work and your activities through a place of like getting things done, and then just even where your head's at when you're doing those kind of activities, and then trying to find your flow state. Like, energy management to me is way more important than time management or task management.
Oof, that was a lot of value in 11 minutes.
Oh, I don't shut up.